Be honest, how many glow up videos have you been watching lately? And honestly, you don't need another glow up video that tells you to buy spray tan, new dresses or new perfumes. Because the truth is, glow up has nothing to do with appearance and everything to do with psychology. It's about understanding small psychological techniques that will make you attractive, magnetic and unforgettable. Today, I will be sharing with you 8 techniques that will allow you to glow up this summer using actual psychology and science. And trust me, you have not seen a glow up video quite like this before. So go and get pen and paper so that you can note all of this down. And whilst you do that, hi, my name is Bri. I'm a pre-qualified psychologist working in London and on an exciting path to become a qualified therapist. On this channel, I like to share psychological insight as well as lessons from my career and my own personal life to help you live a healthier, happier and more productive life. So if that sounds like something that might interest you, then you should subscribe and stick around. The first concept I want to talk about is the one of enclothed cognition. This is a psychological theory that believes that our behaviors are deeply influenced by what we wear. In fact, your clothes are more important than you think. Last year, I made a whole video about the concept of enclothed cognition. I'm gonna link it somewhere here. Although, quick disclaimer, it was one of my first videos, so please forgive the quality. But just to sum it up, research shows that how we behave and how we carry ourselves into the world is largely shaped by what we wear. For example, one study found that the people that were wearing lab coats performed better on cognitive tasks compared to people that were wearing their normal clothes, indicating that just by wearing something that is usually associated with someone that is very smart actually made their performance increase. So the idea is simple. If you want to become the best version of yourself, you need to start dressing like her. Now, am I suggesting that you go out and you spend a lot of money on clothes that you don't need? Absolutely not. We are financially responsible here, right? But I am saying spend some time reflecting on the version of yourself that you're trying to become. What does she wear every day? Go through your wardrobe and for each piece of clothing that you own, ask yourself, will the best version of myself wear this? And if the answer is no, then donate it or sell it online on platforms like Vinted or Depop. Also, start building your personal style. Scroll through Pinterest and notice what you're naturally drawn to. Trust me, I know it's easier said than done. I've spent years trying to find my personal style and I have experimented with different styles of clothes, some of which I deeply regret. And sometimes you just need to try a few different things before finding what really suits you. And that will come with time. Also, please stop wasting money on fast fashion. Stop buying clothes that you will wear once and never again in your life. You want to build a wardrobe that is formed of just a few but timeless clothes that you can wear for ideally at least 10 to 15 years. Every time you're thinking of buying something, ask yourself, does this piece of clothing matches at least 5 items in my wardrobe? If the answer is no, then don't buy it. And yes, sometimes it's better to invest on quality over quantity. So instead of buying 5 different t-shirts, think about buying one but of very good quality. For example, I love wearing these neutral t-shirts. I usually wear them for work or whenever I'm recording videos. And I used to buy them from a fast fashion brand. They broke so easily and every time I bought a new one, it was just a matter of time before it got holes in it and I had to buy a new one. Then I decided to invest in this Tala t-shirt. The quality is amazing and I know I can wear this time and time again without it ever ripping apart or without ever getting out of style because it's just a neutral, timeless piece of clothing. The idea here is that your wardrobe needs to be filled with clothes that bring you joy and that remind you of the version of yourself that you are becoming. You don't want a wardrobe full of clutter that you don't even wear. If something doesn't bring you joy, it doesn't need to be in your life. I now want to talk a little bit about cortisol. Now, you don't need me to tell you that stress is bad for for you. You already know that. If you're trying to gain muscles and reduce bloating and fat, stress will make that especially hard for you. This is because when we are in a fight or flight response, our body will hold on to extra fat and extra water to maximize your chances of survival. And yes, cortisol phase is a thing, although I think online there is a little bit too drama around it. But yes, cortisol can make your face look more puffy because this is just what happens when you are in a fight or flight response. And unfortunately, no amount of gacha can fix that because you need to work on the root cause, that is your stress levels. And the key to reduce stress is understanding your stress cycle. This is something that Emily and Amelia Nagoski talk about in their book Burnout. And to really understand the stress cycle, we need to take a time machine and go back to the times where humans were hunter-gatherers. Back then, stress was very simple. At that time, your fight or flight system would be activated by things like a lion or a tribe that wanted to fight against you. Whenever that happened, Madam Brain released adrenaline and cortisol to make you either run away, fight back, or hide. So when the danger was gone, the stress cycle was completed because a certain action was taken. So running, hiding, fighting, or in some cases even celebrating with your tribe when the danger was gone. At this time and age, we don't really have lions or life-threatening dangers. However, unfortunately, because the way humans have evolved, Madam Brain can't really recognize the difference between an actual life-threatening circumstance or a work deadline. She would respond in the exact same way in both circumstances. So our bodily reactions will be exactly the same. However, often people think that once a stressor is gone, your body will automatically calm down. But that doesn't really happen unless you physically complete the stress cycle. According to Emily and Amelia Nagoski, you can do a number of things to close your stress cycle. And the first one is obvious, and that is physical activity. So just as our ancestors would run or fight back, then you can also run or lift some weights or do some Pilates, and that physical activity will close your stress cycle. Something else is breathing, because deep breathing, especially with longer breaths, will signal to your nervous system that you're safe and that it can calm down now. You can look for a bunch of breathing exercises online. My personal favorite is the box breathing technique, where you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and again hold your breath for 4 seconds, and ideally you need to repeat this 9 to 10 times. Positive social interaction will also help you end your stress cycles, just as our ancestors would celebrate with their tribe when a danger was gone. Same thing for us, any kind of positive interaction will help reduce our stress level. And this is why affection can also work, so hugging someone, even a pet, can help your nervous system regulate. Something else that is really effective in closing your stress cycle is laughing. Not a fake laugh, but genuine belly laughing. It's really powerful, and it is actually a very effective way to fight stress. And on the other end of the spectrum, crying also has the same effect. Because yes, crying can be a very effective way to release all of the stress and all your negative energy. You just let it all out. And finally, according to the Nagoskis, creative expression is another amazing way to close your stress cycle. So dancing, painting, singing, it can give your body a chance to express and release whatever it's holding. So yes, stress is a part of life, and it can also affect your physical appearance. But once you learn to close your stress cycle, you lower cortisol, you calm your nervous system, and you will give your body the best chance to glow up this summer. Next up, I want to talk about being high maintenance to be low maintenance. And I'm sure you heard this many times, and for a good reason, because it is actually one of the best ways to glow up, and there is good psychological research to back this up. The idea is to carve out time weekly, monthly, or even once every 3 months to invest in things that will save you time, energy, and cognitive capacity for a longer period of time. In fact, the research shows that our ability to make decisions decrease throughout the day. This is called decision fatigue. What this means is that every time we make a decision about what to wear, wear, what you eat, what workout to do. We drain Madam Brain just a little bit more. And eventually, our decisions will go worse and worse. Not to mention the fact that your precious cognitive power can't be invested in other more important things, such as working on your goals. This is why automating small things can be a literal game changer. So, for example, getting your nail done once a month means that you don't have to constantly apply nail polish or filing your nails when they get chipped. Scheduling a haircut every 3 months keeps you put together without you always having to think about how to style your hair every morning. Aesthetic treatments like lash extensions, lip blush can save you 15 to 20 minutes every morning to decide what makeup to wear. But also things like planning your week, scheduling your workouts and your meals will enable you to make better choices when it comes to your health, that, as we know, reflects on our physical appearance as well throughout the rest of the week. And now let's talk about the uniform effect. Have you ever noticed how businessmen or politicians like Mark Zuckerberg, Barack Obama, Steve Jobs always wore the same outfit? Well, this was a way to help them reduce the number of decisions that they had to make every day, to, as we said before, reduce their cognitive fatigue. Now, I am not suggesting that you wear the same clothes every day, but what you can do is to build a wardrobe of go-to outfits that you know work for you, depending on your different commitments throughout the week. So you can have 2 to 3 outfits that you always wear when you run errands, or when you go to work, or when you go out with your friends, or on a date. These outfits, going back to the concept of encoded cognition, needs to reflect the best version of yourself. And this small technique will allow you to always feel the most confident self without having to think too much about what to wear every single day. And no, outfit repeating is not a crime, especially if an outfit suits you well and makes you feel confident. If something works for you, why should you just wear it once and never again? Glowing up is not about doing or spending more. It's about choosing with intention what are the things that makes you feel good about yourself, the most confident version of yourself. And speaking of confidence, you can't glow up if you don't increase your confidence. Now, I don't want to pretend that building confidence is easy, okay? Or that it is something that you can just tick off your summer glow up plan. Building confidence is a lifetime journey, one that I am still on myself. But summer is the best time to work on your confidence. We are going out more, meeting new people, trying new things, and there are some very small but very effective ways that can help you in your confidence journey. You can start with setting small, achievable goals for yourself. Every time you set and achieve a goal, you reinforce your self-narrative that you're able of doing great things. Make sure that you don't set unrealistic goals for yourself and rather focus on small steps every day. Now, with this, I don't mean that you shouldn't have big goals. Of course you can, and others say you must dream big. However, break down your big dreams into small goals that you can achieve every single day. For example, if your big dream is to become a business owner, then a small goal today could be to open a website or choose a brand name. These are very small goals, but they will bring you closer to your goals. And every time you achieve them, you will also feel closer to your dream life. Another easy thing that you can do is to keep promises to yourself. You will never dream about breaking a promise with your partner, your family members, your friends. Then why breaking the promises that you make to yourself? Every time that you break your own promises, you're also breaking the trust that you have within yourself. If you tell yourself, I'm gonna go to the gym today, but you didn't go yesterday and you didn't go the day before, so what makes you think that you're actually going to go to the gym today? You don't even trust yourself to keep on these commitments. The relationship with yourself is the most important relationship in your life. And as any relationship, it is based on trust. And the more promises you keep to yourself, the more the trust within yourself is built. So if you say that you're gonna go to the gym, go to the gym. If you say that you're gonna reduce your screen time, reduce your screen time. If you say that you're gonna work on your business, go work on your business. When you keep promises to yourself, you will strengthen the belief that you will also keep them in the future. And that is real confidence. Something else that will help increase your confidence is to get out of your comfort zone regularly. Getting out of your comfort zone reinforces your self-narrative that you are able to do hard things. It will signal to your brain that you are able to go through and successfully overcome discomfort. And finally, a very unexpected way to increase your confidence is fix your posture. Research shows that our postures can actually influence our emotional state and cause hormonal changes in our bodies. For example, a study found that holding power poses for a minute increased people's testosterone, decreased their cortisol, and made them feel more powerful and in control. So stop hunching, pull your shoulder back. Your body language will not only speak for you, but it will speak to you, reminding you that you are in fact powerful and confident. Beware of those that tell you that people are born confident. Confidence is built. And once you become your most confident self, trust me, the glow up will be inevitable. Another easy way to glow up this summer is to create an alter ego. I have made a whole video about how to create an alter ego where I have also explained all the psychology and research behind it. But in short, studies have found that when we consciously step into a character that we perceive as smart, confident, strong, we will start unconsciously to embody those qualities. The concept of creating an alter ego was popularized by Todd Herman, that proposed the following steps to create and step into your alter ego. Step 1 is to choose your alter ego. So give her a name, describe her characteristics, imagine a background story. Step 2 is to choose a trigger that will signal to your mind that you are now stepping into your alter ego. This can be makeup, perfume, a hairstyle, a pair of glasses, a t-shirt, whatever you want. And finally, step into your alter ego. And try to start with low-key situations first. So activate your alter ego whilst you're in a coffee shop or whilst you're going on your daily walk. Because if you practice your alter ego for the first time in a stressful situation, it might not work. So practice it first for some time so that you can become more confident in using it even in more challenging situations. The idea here is that the more you practice your alter ego, the more the characteristic of your alter ego will become parts of you. To the point where you won't have to pretend anymore because you have in fact become her. If you want to glow up, you also need to learn to protect your energy by setting boundaries for yourself. The idea here is that you need to understand your own value and make sure that other people recognize your value as well. When you are repeatedly violating your own boundaries to meet other people's needs, you're just repeating to them and to yourself that your time and your energy are less valuable than theirs. Prioritize your needs, figure out what your non-negotiables are, and never ever cross those boundaries. If at this point in time you feel that your business is your priority, then that will need to come before all of your friends and family's requests. But Brie, I hear you fellow people pleaser ask, how do I do that without people hating me or sounding rude? And the answer is by being assertive. Assertiveness is a type of communication style that allows you to prioritize your needs by protecting your boundaries, but also respecting the needs and feelings of other people. To implement this communication style, you first need to set your boundaries and try to not over-explain yourself. So for example, you can say to someone, I'm very sorry, I can't go out tonight because I need to be working on my business. So as you can see, you can give a very brief explanation, but try to not give people leeway to continue making demands. If you feel like it, you can also provide alternatives and say, I am free on this day if you would like to meet then instead. However, don't offer alternatives you can't actually commit to or don't want to commit to. In general, if they are good friends, they will respect that. However, some people will still try to cross your boundaries. And if that happens, you can just use a broken record approach by repeating your boundary over and over. So, I really can't tonight. I understand you want me to come, but I can't. Or I'm not able to do that. And if that still doesn't work, then feel free to disengage by stepping away from the conversation. And also reevaluate your friendships. Remember, how people perceive you is often a reflection of how you perceive yourself. If you perceive yourself as not worthy of boundaries, or if you don't value your own needs, then why should other people perceive you in any different way? Treat yourself with respect first to ensure that other people people will also treat you right. Something else that will make you irresistible is to master conversations. Being able to carry good conversation with people is the key to increase your charisma, magnetism, and charm, leading to an inevitable glow up. To master conversation, the first thing that you need to do is to learn to listen. We are all guilty of engaging in conversations where while the other person is talking, we are just thinking about what to say next, rather than giving our full attention to the other person. But it is essential that we learn to do that. When we are having a conversation with someone, we want to make sure that they know that they have our full attention. So please don't check your phone whilst you're talking with another person, don't get distracted with other things, and if there is a distraction or an interruption in the conversation, invite the person back into the conversation from where they left off. Personally, there is nothing that makes me feel less considered in a conversation than when the conversation is interrupted and the other person either doesn't invite me back in or struggles to remember where the conversation was going. People want to feel valued and important, and we have a duty to make sure that they leave a conversation with us feeling in this way. To master conversation, you also need to get comfortable with silences. And this is something I personally struggled with, but that I learned to master more and more as a therapist. Because in therapy, there is something called therapeutic silences. That is basically a gap in a conversation where neither you or the client are talking, but that is actually very powerful and very important to help the client process what they said. Or maybe to help them communicate something that if there wasn't a gap in the conversation, maybe they wouldn't have said. Allowing for silences will give you the chance to really reflect on what the other person has said and formulate a proper answer. Although it might feel a little bit awkward for you, for the other person to see that you actually giving whatever they said a lot of thought can be very, very flattering. Also, make sure to use eye contact. This is something that I struggled a lot with in the past. I found eye contact with people very, very uncomfortable. But giving proper eye contact will help you show confidence as well as building trust and connection with the other person. It will also signal again to the other person that you're truly listening to what they have to say. Also, use open-ended question. If you want to reach conversation, don't really ask yes or no questions. You want the other person to dig deep. It will signal to the other person that you are genuinely interested in what they have to say, as well as help them explore their own thoughts in different ways. Asking interesting open-ended questions will also make them leave the conversation feeling very inspired by all of your questions and will make you feel more fulfilled having actually engaged in an interesting and profound conversation. Also, when you're talking, use people's name frequently. A person's name is very powerful, and using it a lot in a conversation will make them feel seen and valued. Also, repeating often a person's name in a conversation is a sign of natural charisma. If you're like me and you struggle to remember people's name, make sure to repeat it a few times after they have introduced themselves. So if the other person is named Sarah, for example, you can say things like, "Nice to meet you, Sarah. So, Sarah, what do you do?" It is a very simple but very effective way to remember people's names. And please don't shorten other people's name. Like I see that happen often in London because I think there are so many different cultures and so many people have such unique names that you might struggle to pronounce. And whilst that is valid, we still need to make an effort to try and to say the other person's full name. You have no idea how many times in London people have tried to find nicknames for me unrequested just because they were struggling to say my name. And I don't think that is very nice. As I said, a person's name is very, very important. And we really need to try and make an effort to say a person's full name, even if we struggle to pronounce it. Something else that will really help you master conversation is to understand people's different personalities. And I know this sounds complicated, but it doesn't have to be. One book I loved is Surrounded by Idiots that talks about how there are 4 different kinds of people in the world, each one assigned to a different color. And although it may sound a little bit reductionist to reduct people's personalities in only 4 categories, it is actually a really effective way to think about it, I think. Obviously, this won't really allow you to deeply understand people, but it is definitely a very effective tool to know how to communicate with the different kinds of personalities. Now, every time I struggle to understand someone, especially if I struggle to communicate with them, I just think, oh, must be a green person, and try to shape my communication around it. And finally, the last thing that will help you glow up this summer, and I think this is very underrated, and it is be kind. I'm sure each one of us has met someone that was very, very beautiful, literally blessed by the universe for their facial features, but with an energy that was just off. These people don't seem magnetic at all because they just have very negative or judgmental personalities. And that is because true beauty isn't about appearance at all. If there is one thing that you can take away from this video, it needs to be this one. Glow up is not about beauty, it's not about appearance, but it is about how you carry yourself into the world. Now, think about all those movie characters, especially the main antagonist, that were very, very beautiful, but with very terrible personalities. You wouldn't really think, oh, that person is truly beautiful, is truly handsome. You wouldn't think that because their personality is just off. And being kind is one of the most effective way to actually radiate positive energy into the world. Now, when I say being kind, I don't mean being a doormat. You don't want people to walk all over you or bending over backward to please everyone else. Being kind just means being a decent human being and to treat everyone you meet with respect and compassion. Give other people compliments. If you think something nice about someone, just say it. But make sure that they are real compliments, because trust me, people realize if you're being fake. Giving compliments will make the other person feel good, and it will make you feel good in return because you've just shared all your positive energy and all of your magnetism with the people around you. But also, it will signal to them that you're secure enough to lift other people up and to share your light. And also, don't gatekeep. Help people out, and I'm especially talking to the women around here. Share the name of that amazing nail tech. Tell the girls about a skincare product that changed your life. Share job opportunities with people that may be interested. Giving other people the opportunity to shine won't dim your light. It will actually make you shine even brighter. And this brings us to the end of the video. Please let me know which technique was your favorite and which ones you're going to implement to make sure that you're gonna glow up this summer. If you like this video, you might also want to check this video here where I talk about how to beat summer FOMO, because let's be honest, experiencing FOMO during the summer won't help you glow up, right? Or you might want to check this video here that YouTube has picked up just for you based on your personal interests. So I will see you over there, or I will see you in my next video. Bye!